Hello, everyone. My name is Bryan Murphy, the CEO of Smartling and the host of Smartling AI Translation 101. I'm joined today by Summer Zhao, Summer Senior Localization Manager at Zoom. Summer's been with Zoom for the past 4 years, leading localization efforts as the company has grown into a global AI platform. She brings over a decade of experience in the localization industry with previous roles at StockX and Netflix, giving her a unique perspective from both fast-paced startups and large-scale enterprises. Summer is a proud graduate of the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, and after Monterey, she also earned a degree in computer science, bridging the gap between language and technology in a way that few can. Summer, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you for having me, Ryan.
I'm excited to have you here. I've known you for a long time, and I think you've got such a unique background that I think a lot of people will be interested in your insights.
Mhm.
As you know, it's interesting. I'm really excited about this particular webinar. As a CEO, I'm always interested in ROI. So we're going to be talking today. The topic today is your playbook for proving translation ROI. And I often find that teams, whether they're seasoned localization teams, marketing teams, or product teams, struggle to communicate the ROI of translation to management. And I think this is a big miss. They're missing big opportunities to gain additional funding for what can be a powerful growth engine. As a technology CEO, I understand the importance of conversion rate and engagement on revenue. And we know that 76% of customers prefer to buy in their own language, and up to 60% won't buy at all unless it's in their language. So clearly, translation and localization are powerful drivers of revenue growth. So maybe we'll start with the first question here, which is, why is proving the ROI of localization more important now than ever, especially with AI entering the conversation?
Yeah, this is a big one. So proving localization ROI has always been important. But with AI now in the mix, it becomes non-negotiable. So here at Zoom, we are all-in AI platform. So it touched every part of the business, including localization. And with that comes opportunities and also pressure. And we use Smartling's AIHT across a ton of our workflows. AIHT means AI translation with human editing. So it helps us a lot, and it helps us scale fast. But naturally, leadership gonna ask, okay, so we're investing in this, what's the return? That's where ROI comes in. And it's how we answer that question with confidence. AI helps cut costs, but the speed things up as well. But let's be honest, it's definitely not enough. You also need to show that localization is driving real outcomes, like revenue growth in new markets, faster feature adoptions, and just a better experience for global users, right? And AI has, I would say, raised the bar. It's not about, how much we translated anymore. It's about what impact that work had. And for example, did we help bring new customers? Did we boost engagement in Korea, in Argentina? So ROI is how we tell that kind of story. So yeah, AI changed the game, and ROI is how we, stay in it. Thank you.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think at Smartling, we think a lot about how do we create translation as a service, right? How do we make it very high quality? How do we make it faster? How do we make it more cost effective? Because as I recall, once again, my experiences in the past, translation has always been expensive and slow and really sort of a hassle. And I think that's been one of the things that's been the most fun about coming to Smartling and watching AI really have an impact is creating this environment where we don't have to think about translation as much anymore. We don't have to, through automation and through more effective solutions like AI, we're able to translate more content more quickly, more easily, right? Because it's not like lots of us have larger teams. Many of us have smaller teams. So that's really essential. So Summer, when you think about what are some of the common roadblocks that teams face when trying to tie localization efforts to measurable business impact?
Well, so many. I could talk day long for this question, especially at the beginning. There's just a lot of roadblocks. First, I would say like localization is often behind the scenes. We are enabling other teams, right? Like, so our impact shows up in their metrics. For example, like marketing sees the campaign results, product sees the adoptions, but it's hard to isolate our piece in the wing, and that's really hard. And that can make the ROI pretty tricky. And the second, I would say the data silos. Every team, they have got their own system, even their own dashboards, like Amplitude, Tableau, data analytics, different system even. So trying to line up metrics up across all these different teams, including product, marketing, support, everything. And it's like trying to, resolve a puzzle with pieces from different boxes. It's really hard. And the third thing I would say is the localization literacy. A lot of folks still think localization, oh, it's just translation, and they don't see how it can connect to like revenue, retention, or customer satisfaction. So they don't get that impact. They don't think about their, tracking it either. Um, all that side, once you know where the gap are, you can start building a bridges of those roadblocks. Yeah.
That's great. That's really fantastic. That's a really fantastic point of view and advice. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? So, what kind of results or metrics actually matter to executive teams? Are there any data points that are especially impactful?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's keep it real. Executives cares about the big pictures, like the growth, the speed, and the customer happiness, instead of like, what's the quality score, how many projects we delivered. They don't care about that. So we need to, talk about localization in terms of what they actually care about. Let's start with revenue. We look at how international revenue moves when we localize like product features, onboarding, and sales materials. If we do all that for Japan and the revenue jumps, that's ROI. That's what they care about. Same with conversions. Like after we localize self-serve flow and some Spanish emails, for example, conversions in Latin America will just go up. That's a direct line from localization to business, real business impact, and that's what the executives cares about. So we also track how many new users come from localized campaign. If a fully localized campaign, it's driving growth. For example, like in Brazil, you better believe we're gonna share that to the executives. And now on the speed and efficiency side, I would say executives also gonna love that. Launching a new feature globally, like day one in more than 10 languages, that's huge. And that's what the executives wants to see. And with Smartling AI HT, this is really the key for us to do this. And for example, like support content, we use AIHT to translate and do the post editing, and ended up cutting the turnaround time while lowering the cost. Not bad, right? And because of the AI, we are now producing more localized content than before, and in a large scale, and that gets attention from the executives.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It stands to reason. Back in my days at eBay, eBay was a global company, and we thought a
Yeah.
lot about digital footprint. We thought a lot about engagement. We thought a lot about conversion rate, and we knew that having localized experiences for our customers in those countries was essential. And even if you just think about digital footprint for a moment, what is digital footprint? It's sort of like the size of a website, how much content is in it. Many companies in their home country have pretty large digital footprints. Google sees that, right? And says, okay, this is a major website. It's got
Yeah,
good engagement, right? People are reading the content, engaging with the content. So as a result, it sends traffic there, right? Organic traffic. Um, and if you go to maybe another country, that same company that could be huge in one place might have a small digital footprint. And if
yeah.
it's not localized, the engagement's not great. So Google looks at that and says, eh, you know, so so finding ways to cost effectively create localized content across and create a larger digital footprint has a huge impact
Exactly.
on organic traffic was one of the things that we learned there. And that was one of the things that, we think a lot about at Smartling as well.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank
So
you
when
for
you
sharing that.
when you get into these organizations, I think you're right. I mean, localization is one of these things. It touches almost everything. It touches sales, it touches marketing, it touches product, customer
Products. Yeah.
experience, right? So
Mhm.
let's talk about cross-functional buy-in. What's the key to getting other teams like marketing, product, or legal align with localization and AI goals?
Well, cross-functional buy-in is definitely not something you can just wish to have it. And here at Zoom, we figured out that early on, if we want to, if we just wanted to move fast, localization had to be in the room earlier. So now, we are not just waiting around for hand-ups. We are in the roadmap reviews, campaign planning, product meetings. We are part of the team. And take website launch, for example. We partner with the web team before anything goes live, aligning on the language, the tone, the timeline, the budget, and everything, and how we will deliver it through the platform through Smartling. So that's something we need to do even before we start translation. Um, and also, we don't speak in localization lingo. We need to speak their KPI, products KPI, marketing's KPI. Not we just don't, speak like what is localization's KPI, no. So marketing wants engagement, product wants adoption, legal wants compliance. So we are not just selling localization, we are helping them hit their goals. And we backed it up with some like stories and numbers. I will give an example, like for example, like a Japanese campaign that outperformed the English version in engagements, or the AI powered human editing content went live in hours instead of days. Those are all good things to, create this buy-in from different teams, because we actually help them to achieve their goals. Um, you know, when teams sees that kind of impact, they are in.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the buy-in. Also that buy-in lasts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this. This is like this is gold here. I mean, this is one of the best pieces of advice that I could see. I'm always shocked at how many organizations still operate with translation localization as the afterthought. Like they get everything done and they're like, "Oh, shoot, that's right. We need to translate this stuff." They throw it over the
That's the
fence
worst.
and it's
Yeah.
like just a train wreck, right? And everyone's mad at the Loc team and all that kind of stuff. So, I think this is really great advice, and I love the advice around speaking their language, connecting with their KPIs, and using data and success stories to build credibility. Those are really really powerful ideas for I think for this audience. Um, when we talk about for so there obviously AI, right? AI. There's lots of that going on in the world. For teams that are early in their AI translation journey or struggling to prove value, where's a smart place for these teams to start?
So if you are just dipping your toe into AI, I would recommend don't start with your most high profile content. Um, that's like learning to drive on the freeway, right? You need to start small, start easy. So we started small, supported content, internal documents, low stakes with high volume stuff, perfect for real world testing. So we used Smartling AI HD setup, AI translation, human editing, and run side-by-side tasks. So this is really important. When you get started, you need to do sort of testing and just comparison with the traditional way. What was faster, was cheaper, and we track everything. For example, like cost per word, time to publish, even MQMs for quality perspective. Um, we also look in reviewers to kind of help the tone in the system. And most importantly, we pick one clear metrics to focus on. For example, I would say turnaround time is a good one to track. We showed AIHT cut delivery time in half, and that got people's attention. That got every team's attention. So yeah, my advice is to start small, start smart, and measure everything you can so people can see the effect of this change. People can see how AI can change the whole localization industry. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You know, that's hard. That's hard won experience, and I think probably is one of the most important topics happening, not only in translation localization, but across every function of the business. You know, I certainly noticed that this year. I think that every CEO in the world created an AI mandate for their organizations in 2025, and translation localization is certainly being impacted by that. Um, Looking back, what's one thing that you wish you'd known earlier about proving the business value of localization?
This one is easy. I used to, think our job was just to get the, work done, deliver on time, keep quality high, stay on budget. But what I've learned, success isn't just ours. It's shared across different teams. It's shared across product marketing, support, customer service, legal, everyone. So we only win when they win. So now we don't say, hey, we localized 15 landing pages. We would say those pages helped increase conversion in, let's say, APAC by 20%. That's the word we want to say. That's the word we want to deliver to the company, to the executives. And we don't want to just wait for someone to ask. We go in, we tell the story, we bring the data, we connect the dots. And I feel that's how localization get recognized, not just a service department. It's definitely a growth engine for the company. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's great advice. You know, sometimes people are one of the things I observe once again, kind of sitting in the chair that I sit in, I see, you know, different functions within the business communicating in different ways. And I will tell you that I think executive leadership teams definitely value organizations that can advocate for themselves and
Exactly.
speak the language of the organization, right? So every organization has a set of KPIs that matter to them. If you can communicate your how your organization is assisting the company's goals, right, directly, supported by data, that's a really powerful thing to be able to do. And I think that most CEOs and leadership team, once again, they appreciate that. And I think
Yeah.
that's how you get funding, right? In my opinion, if you can come in and
That's
say, "Hey,
yeah.
this is how we're sitting with these specific goals. This is the impact that we've made. If we get this, then we can deliver this ROI."
Yeah. Like this is how you get funding, this is how you get support. And this is how, we shine from different teams and we get the collaboration better. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think this is really, really great and powerful advice. So this has been great. I think, you know, I think we heard a lot of great things from you today. I think if I had to kind of like recap, it's you want to make sure it's important to understand your partner's KPIs, you know, so if
Yeah.
it's marketing, if it's product, if it's customer experience, legal, learning and development, whatever it is, what are their goals, right? And how can you help
Exactly.
them you know, improve those goals. I think I think it's also important. I don't know, maybe, but maybe no. I don't know. This is an interesting question. Like, do people understand, do localization people understand the impact of localization? You know, the customer stats. You know, 76% prefer to buy, and 40% won't buy, 60% won't buy, et cetera. Those are powerful metrics for people to have to put into their presentations.
Mhm.
Um, I think I love the idea of on AI. I thought this was great. I think this is right. Start small, start smart, and pick a measurement,
Exactly.
right?
And yeah, I would say AI is a great tool, but it's not something that can solve everything, right? We still need measurement to kind of like measure how's the impact. That's the ROI part comes in.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's this whole conversation happening right now. I think that AI, I've been around for a long time, so I do believe
Yeah.
that AI is one of the most impactful technologies that humans have ever created for sure. I think it's on par with the commercialization of the internet in terms of impact.
Mhm.
We're very much in the hype cycle right now, though, right? So
Yeah.
kind of like AI can do everything and everything and for everybody. I don't think that's true. I do believe that AI is a massive productivity booster or assistant to humans. That's my
Mhm.
view of it.
Mhm.
Kind of bonus question here for do you get a lot of pressure for in the organization? Just hey, just use GPT and be done with it.
Um, yes, I would say. I got some pressures, for different teams, like, oh, use AI. AI can do the translation. If AI cannot do the translate, then what AI can do? But actually, I would say no in that situation. AI is a great booster, but it cannot solve all the issues. It cannot just do everything by itself. Still like human, like we help to better utilize AI and do the infrastructure work for localization, especially for localization. There's a lot of infrastructure things we need to do before we implement AI,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But yeah.
I think that's right. I think it's a powerful tool to help engineers be more productive. It's a powerful tool to help marketers and salespeople be more productive. But I don't see it replacing the role of a software engineer anytime soon. So same
Yeah.
same thing with translation. Well, this has been great, Summer. I learned a lot listening to you today, as I always do. So I really appreciate the you coming in, spending some time and talking to folks out there. And I also want to let folks know that our next session in the AI Translation 101 series is, I think, an exciting one for many: how to ask for and keep your budget. So we hope to see you all there. Once again, Summer, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.